Appreciate you stepping into Black Fridays, and everybody that's watching, thank you for coming to another edition of Black Fridays. I got my guest. She'll introduce herself in a second, but before we go ahead and get started, I want y'all to show some love. LeAnn, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is, I have two, so I really like purple and orange.
All right, so look, this is what we're gonna do for you. So to show my guest some love, I want everybody to drop a purple and or orange heart in the comments right now. We're gonna go ahead and get that going. We're gonna show her some love for taking her time for pulling up the Black Fridays. And yeah, so what I'm gonna do is we got the people coming in right now. Go ahead and tell us about yourself, who you are personally, and then also what do you do professionally?
So I am LeAnn. So my name is LeAnn Allan, but my brand name is LeAnn Henri because my name is LeAnn Henrietta Allan. So I'm named after my grandmother. Her name was Anne Henrietta. So brand name is LeAnn Henri, but I'm a realtor slash YouTuber slash lifestyle curator, right? So I like to curate lifestyles through home ownership and through vibes on Instagram. And I help people secure their financial futures through real estate. And I work primarily with first-time homebuyers, but I will literally work with anybody from first-time homebuyers to empty nesters and everything in between. But my heart really does lay with the first-time homebuyers because it's just a feeling that's no other.
Absolutely. And if you're planning to buy a house anytime in the near future, I want you to drop a house in the comments. And then if you already got a house, I want you to put two houses in the comment because we're trying to double up out here.
Yes, homeowners. Let me see it.
Homeowners,
Okay.
let's get that going. Drop a house or drop two houses if you already got a crib. But I wanted to ask you, could you give us actually what got you into that? So you said that you're into curating lifestyles from a more broader perspective and then also from the home buying perspective and working with those first time home buyers, and kind of take us into what got you into that.
So I have always been like a community outreach kind of person, but it was in the form of like working with children. So I have a degree in psychology with a minor in community action and social change. For those that don't know, we went to U of M together. Go Blue. And I was working at U of M for 3 years after undergrad. And I loved my job. I loved everything about it. But, you know, millennials, they just change their mind often. So I was like already thinking of what my next move was going to be. And real estate has always been something that I was like interested in. So about like year 1.5 of like me working there, I went and got a real estate license just to like have it in my back pocket to strategize what my next move was going to be. And by year 3, I was like, all right, I'm out. I'm gonna go. And I just jumped into real estate full time. And for me, it's been amazing. It's definitely been a roller coaster, but I've learned so much from it throughout the process. I've been able to help so many people. And that's what makes me come back to it time and time again. I'll probably be doing some form of real estate related work for the rest of my life.
I love it. I love it. That's what's up. How now tell us more so about I guess like the lifestyle perspective, because you do have a booming YouTube at that. So how did you start doing that as well?
You know, I use the term booming loosely, right?
Yeah, okay.
Because I just hit 6,000 subscribers earlier this week. I didn't check it today, so I'm not sure what it's at. But in my mind, once I hit 10,000, then that's when I can say, okay, it's booming.
Okay,
but
okay.
I have always wanted to start a YouTube channel. Like if you go on my YouTube channel and you look at like the creation date, it's gonna say December 26th, 2009. Okay. Mm-hmm. And because that's when I was like, I set it up. I was like, I'm gonna do this, blah, 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 blah. I was still in high school, like trying to start a YouTube channel. This was before like the wave had really started. Like I wanted to start a YouTube channel and I just never, ever did it. And every single year for like the last maybe 7 or so years, I had been start a YouTube channel on my vision board. Mm-hmm. And it would just not happen every single year. So finally I was like, okay. In 2018, I was like, this is the last year that I let this goal carry over on my vision board. start a YouTube channel. Like I just gotta do it. So I posted a makeup tutorial and it was fun. People loved it. I guess I'm entertaining or whatever. And but I knew that I didn't want like a beauty YouTube channel. It was just like just doing it to get it done, put the thing in motion. And then this year is when I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just show what I do as a realtor, And that's when I posted the first day in the life of a real estate agent. And that one kind of just catapulted it to where it's at right now and where it's heading. I think that video has like maybe 37,000 views at this point. But yeah, that's how that happened.
And then real quick, can you throw out your YouTube so people can make sure that they go and subscribe to you?
Yep. So subscribe to LeAnn Henri on YouTube. That's LeAnn Henri. So Henry with an I, not Henry with a Y.
Perfect. And going back to kind of like you being a real estate professional, I've always been curious like what that process is like to actually like become a realtor. So can you kind of like walk us through that in case anybody's interested in doing that themselves?
Yeah, so I'm going to give the abridged version because I actually have a whole YouTube video on how to do this. So make sure that you guys can go look that up.
Yep.
But to become a real estate agent in Michigan, the process is relatively easy. So I believe that you have to take 45 hours of instruction. It was like over 4 years ago at this point when I took the class. So I have to remember. But I actually found my class on Groupon, right? Because I was broke.
Oh, dope.
Okay, so I was like, let me find the most cost-efficient way for me to take this class, and I found it on Groupon for like $60. It was a come up, okay, and so I would highly suggest if you like search Groupon, y'all. Don't sleep on Groupon. But so you take the 40-hour class, and then you have to take the final in the class. So if you don't pass the final in the class, then you can't go and take the state exam. So they give you 2 tries, I believe, to pass the final in the class. And if you don't pass it on the second try, you got to take the whole 45 hours all over again, or whatever the hours are. So don't quote me on this, y'all. Just do a Google search. But once you pass the final in the class, then you go and actually take the state exam. So the state exam is like, it kind of feels similar to when you took the SAT or ACT. It's a very, very long test. You have, I think, 3 hours to take it, and there's maybe like 100 and something questions. But it's $75 to take the state exam. And each time you take it, if you don't pass, then you have to pay to take it again. So again, I was broke, and I was like, okay, we're gonna take this state exam one time and one time only.
Yep.
So I was studying like crazy for it. I made flashcards. Like everywhere I went, I had the flashcards on me. I was in line at the grocery store. I was pumping gas. Like any free second I had, I was pulling out those flashcards out of my pocket and I was flipping them through. So I did pass the state exam on the first try. And I also give credit to like having gone to U of M as well, because the way that like they test you at U of M is like nothing like you will ever experience. So I learned how to take tests versus just how to memorize information, because that's important too. But for those of you who have taken the real estate exam, the state exam, and you haven't passed it, or it's just been really, really difficult for you to pass it, just keep going. I know people who are extremely successful in real estate, and it took 7 tries to pass their state exam, and everything in between. So just because you didn't pass on the first try doesn't mean that you're not going to be successful at it. Doesn't mean that you're stupid or whatever the case may be. Like maybe you're just not a good test taker. But yeah, for me, I knew I didn't have no money to be throwing away $75 each time. So I was going to pass it on the first try. But after you pass your state exam, you can either find a broker before you take your state exam or after. I found mine after. A broker is a person that you hold your real estate license with so that you can go out and practice real estate. And they're the people that's kind of like the shepherd over you, so to speak. And then, yeah, you just get to work.
Nice. And then, so now how long you been a real estate agent?
So February will make 4 years.
4 years. All right. So congratulations to that.
Thank you.
So now that you've been in the game for a while now, could you kind of walk us through what does your day-to-day look like as a real estate agent?
So my day-to-day changes every day. But this year has been wild. Like I've been trying to find a schedule, but it's just like, just get it how you live. Like whatever, wherever it fits in, just make it work. But I do try to get up no later than 7, but as of recently it's been a little bit later.
We know the vibes. We know the
Yeah,
vibes.
I'm not a super early riser. Like those people that get up at 5 a.m. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. I used to be an early riser, but no, not anymore. I am not anymore. So I get up, I will go and either make breakfast or I'll make a smoothie. So if you guys were like following me during the original stay-home order and I was doing quarantine cooking and I was like making all my smoothies and stuff, I still keep up with those. And then I go in my office. So this is my home office, and I hop on my laptop and I respond to emails. So depending on like what deals I have going at the time, then I'll make sure that any addendums or addenda are signed. If I have to draft any new documents, if I have buyers who want to submit offers, or if I have listings that have showings, am I going through and reviewing whatever feedback I got from those showings, et cetera, et cetera. So the days look different, but the goal is still the same, which is to make money.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And so what would you say is your favorite part about what you do?
I feel like I give a different answer almost every time, but I think my favorite moment is handing the keys to a person who never thought that home ownership was possible for them, or it was never within reach, and it actually was. So handing the keys to somebody who never thought that this day would come is a feeling that I will literally never get over. I love it so much. And like, I'm a softie, right? So I'm kind of a waterhead. So sometimes like I will literally have tears in my eyes just seeing how happy people are, or like I take pictures while they're at the closing. So I take pictures while they're signing their documents and like we hand over the keys, and because I want them to have all of these memories. So yeah, sometimes I'll like be driving home from the closing, just be on the verge of tears, just so grateful that I get to be a part of these people's lives and their greatest moments. It's something that I don't take lightly, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
I love it. I love it. And that's super dope. Especially, I see a lot of like, we're at that age where people are, buying their first homes and starting families and stuff like that. So like every other week, maybe every month, like you're seeing people have those moments. And, I'm a homeowner, and even people like later in life, like I'm seeing like, buying my first home and stuff like that. And it's such a special moment because, for some people, like the road getting there was not easy. So that's definitely a blessing to do that.
I try to tell people too that like buying a home at any age is an accomplishment. Like social media will make people feel like they're behind. Like, if I didn't get my first house by 30, like I'm behind. Or if I didn't do X, Y, and Z by whatever time, I'm behind. But like, if I had a first time home buyer who was 85 and buying their first house, I'm going to celebrate them. Like that is an accomplishment no matter what, no matter the age. You're not late, you're not delayed. Like whenever it's right for you is when is the right time to buy a house. People always ask me like, when's the right time for me to buy? Like what time of year, blah, blah, blah. My answer for that will always be the same. The right time to buy is when you are ready to buy. Don't let nobody else rush you.
Absolutely. And selfishly, because I'm interested in home ownership in the near future, could you take a step back and then kind of walk me through, let's say I'm a homeowner, I got the bag on me and I'm ready to buy a house. What is the process like?
So, I actually do buyer consultations. So when a person like you reaches out to me and says like, hey, I think I'm ready to buy a house, like what's the process? I automatically send them the link to my website because I want them to schedule a buyer consultation. So we actually set time aside to go through the whole entire process. So it's a 1-hour conversation. The beginning part of the conversation, I talk finances, I talk credit scores, and then the second half of the conversation is the actual process of how to buy a house. The consultations are always 100% free. They will always be free, no matter what. But I like to make sure that people, even though they think they're ready, this conversation will tell them whether or not they're actually ready.
Yeah.
So when people come to me and say, I'm ready to buy a house, in our conversation, the first thing I ask them is, what is your credit score? The minimum credit score that banks and lenders will usually look for is at least a 640. Mm-hmm. Now, that's not to say that you can't get approved for a house if your credit score is lower than that, but you're not going to qualify for a lot of the down payment assistance programs, a lot of the first-time homebuyer programs. Your interest rate is going to be higher. It's going to overall cost you more money the lower your credit score is. So sometimes people, I'll have them just delay their purchase just a little bit longer for them to get their score up to that range that it needs to be. And then it opens them up to a ton of opportunities. So I want to see that people at least have a 640. The higher, the better, obviously. And then I want to see that they have saved at least 6 to 10% of the total cost of their target property. Mm-hmm. So the reason for that is most first-time homebuyers qualify for programs where you can put down a minimum of 3%. So this number that you hear of, I need 20%, I need 20% down payment, like, that's not true. You can put down 20%. Shoot, you can put down whatever amount that you want to, but usually the minimum is 3%. And then that other 7% is going towards your closing costs. That's going towards your inspection fees, your appraisal fees, your title insurance, all of that. So people don't know all of the other miscellaneous expenses that go into buying a house. The only thing that they think of is like, oh, well, I got my money for my down payment, so let's go. Mm-hmm. So that's the first thing that I ask people, because I want to make sure that I'm assessing whether or not they're aware of all the other funds that'll be needed. And if not, then what do we need to do in the meantime, in between time, for you to get your money saved up and for you to get to that target number that we're actually talking about. So oftentimes, by the time people have come to me and they're ready to actually start the process, they've been window shopping. Mm-hmm. Right. So a lot of people will scroll on Zillow for hours at a time, and they'll, favorite houses that they love, and they pretty much have an idea of what it is that they want and what it is that they can afford. Mm-hmm. So I will ask people like, okay, well, in your window shopping searches, what have you been drawn to? So what kind of neighborhoods, what price point? Because then that'll tell me how much money they need to have saved, right? Mm-hmm. So if they come to me and they say they have $15,000 saved up, but they've been looking at $200,000 houses, I'm just like, you got to save a little bit more money, or adjust your expectation on how much house you're expecting to buy. Mm-hmm. So once we've talked finances, we've talked credit scores, then that's when we transition into actually how to buy a house. So again, I will give an expedited version of this conversation because I have a YouTube video on how to buy a house on my channel. So if you have not watched that video already, search LeAnn Henri on YouTube. That's Henry with an I.
Two things. Go to the YouTube channel, watch that video, and then also, if you're more curious, go to the website and hit that link so you can set up that consultation.
Yes. So I always tell people that schedule those consultations if you're thinking that you'll be buying a house within the next 6 months. Yeah. People that their purchase is a little bit further out, I ask that they watch the YouTube videos first, just because my time has been getting like really, really crunched lately. Mm-hmm. And I want to make sure that I'm helping the people who are moving soon right now versus those who are a little bit further out. I don't want a slot taken for a person that, they're just kind of want to get an idea versus a person that's like ready to go right now. So Absolutely. If you're within 6 months from now of buying a house, then yes, of course, jump on my website and schedule that consultation. So when we've established that you have a good credit score, that you have the money that you need to buy your house, then that's when we actually start looking, right? So I don't show people more than 4 to 5 houses at a time. And 5 is like the max, because a couple of reasons. One, again, my time is very valuable and I can't be driving all up and around the world to show you some houses, then you don't know what you want. But number 2, the more houses you see at one time, they all start to like mesh together, and you can't remember which ones had the wood floors and which ones had the carpet and all of that. So I want to make sure that I'm keeping it manageable so that when you go home and you think about the ones that you just saw, that you can make a decision or decide whether or not you want to go see more houses. When you find a house, you submit an offer. There's a couple of things that can happen when you submit an offer. So that's something we can talk about in your consultation. And then once your offer is accepted, then you move into an inspection period. Inspection periods range in time frame depending on the property, the situation. We'll talk through that once we get to that point. Mm-hmm. But the inspection period is your time to get everything looked at on the house to make sure that the investment that you're making is a good investment. So how does the roof look, the plumbing, the furnace, hot water tank, is there any molds in the house or anything like that? You just want to make sure that you're getting all that stuff checked out. Mm-hmm. Once you're through your inspection period, then you're actually into your loan underwriting process. So from the point of finding your house to actually closing and getting your keys, it usually takes between 30 to 45 days to close on a house on average. Some of them are less, some of them are more. It just depends on your type of financing, your lender, what kind of house you're buying, et cetera, et cetera. Your loan underwriter / your lender, whoever you're working with, is going to ask you for a number of things throughout that process. Like some people feel so uncomfortable with the amount of information that they have to give over, but you're literally borrowing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like right. They want to know everything about you except for your firstborn. Okay. So during the loan underwriting process, there's also like a title check that's happening. Those happen simultaneously, but they're independent of each other. And then once both of those are done, they issue a clear to close. I call you and I say, hey, guess what? We are clear to close on your property. And then we schedule a final walkthrough. We look at the house, make sure that it's all in tip-top shape as it was when you first agreed to buy it. And then we schedule your closing, sign the documents, I hand you your keys, and you are a homeowner.
Dope. Love it. Can we get some hand claps? That was a beautiful explanation of how to buy the home buying process. And that was actually really helpful to me. So I hope it was helpful to somebody else because I'm on the outside looking in. I'm not, I don't invest in properties or anything like that. Something I definitely want to do in the near future. So that was super helpful. So so also one thing that I noticed about like you and your content, like and then also in the real estate world as well, like branding is everything. Like being able to brand yourself as an individual and then display like your services and the things, experiences that you can bring to people is vital. Could you tell us more about how, like, what's your approach to branding in general, especially being a real estate agent, where you have to make that show what makes you different from everybody else?
Mm-hmm. I've been building the LeAnn Henri brand for about 2 years now. And for me, the things that I put on my mood board when I was pulling all of the branding together. So my sister is a graphic and web designer, and she like helps people build their brands. So I was talking to her throughout the whole process of trying to figure out, what I wanted to do. It was with the idea of building my YouTube channel brand, but it was translating to everything that I did. They all kind of, meshed together. But the things that were most important to me were authenticity. So I don't want to be a bunch of different versions of myself depending on where I'm at. There's a certain level of that happens subconsciously. Like you don't really realize that it's happening. It's the code switch. It's the blending in wherever you're at. All of that happens subconsciously being Black in America. But yeah. I wanted to make sure that whatever room I was in, I was just gonna be myself. And I wanted to be a person that people could trust. So when they come to me, buying a house is a very large purchase and it's a scary thing to do. And it's very anxiety provoking. So when I talk to people, I cater to their emotions. So I'm saying the things that I know that they're thinking, but they're not saying them out loud. So I'm just like, I know that you're nervous right now. You're probably thinking X, Y, and Z. Let me walk you through it. Or do you want to tell me how you feel right now? Or, you know, we pulled up to that house and I know you liked it, but it kind of feels like you're settling. Is this the house that you really want? Or are you just under pressure because you feel like you want to beat your lease?
Mm-hmm.
You know, people are just, they'll be like, how do you know this? Or like, why are you, you know, saying my deepest, darkest feelings, you know? But for me, it's being authentic, being human, and connecting with people, because like social media can be just so exhausting. Like you scroll and everything is perfectly curated and everybody only shows that little 9% of their life that's amazing, but you don't get to see the other garbage that happens behind closed doors. So even though I do have like a well curated timeline, I still try to keep it very real in my captions. So like I'll have you know, a caption where I'm just talking about, hey y'all, like I'm kind of overwhelmed this week. Like anybody else feeling the same thing? Or, you know, I'll just talk about some wins that I have for the week, or some losses that I had, or I try to keep it real on my Instagram stories. Like my face is not always beat. Okay. I will wake up, brush my teeth, and hop on camera like, hey y'all, got this pimple on my forehead. Anybody else's skin breaking out? Like, you know. So in doing all of that, it has allowed people to see the humanness in me. It's very easy to feel like you're not worthy, or like you're not up to par when you only see the best in somebody. So I try to like pull back the curtain a little bit and show people like, hey, you know, I got this stuff going on. You know, I'm growing this YouTube channel, I'm growing this Instagram brand, I'm growing my real estate business. But sometimes I still feel like I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So if you feel like that, that's okay. Just keep going. So that's how I've tried to build my brand. I think it's going well. And I just hope to continue to build a army of people who are well educated. They are fearless in what they do, and they're not afraid to show the parts of them that may not be the prettiest.
Absolutely. Can we get some fire in the comments for that? That was beautiful. That was beautifully well put. And I got two questions for you from the comment section, and then we're gonna have some fun. So first, somebody asked, can you explain the homestead exemption? Do you know anything about that, or you know, want to talk more about that?
Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at a property, you're going to look at what the taxes are, right? So sometimes taxes will say homestead or non-homestead. Homestead is a fancy word for just saying whether or not you lived in that property as your primary residence, right? So the house that I live right now, this is our home. We live here 100% of the time. This is our primary residence, so we qualify for the homestead exemption. If this was a home that we lived in like 20% of the time and we rented it out for the other 80%, then it would be non-homestead because it's not our primary residence.
Perfect. And the other question was, do you plan on buying back the block? Let us know. Let us know. I'm trying to get in on that if you are. So tell us.
Absolutely. 100% I plan on buying up the block. Is it going to be in 2021? Probably not. I'm thinking that'll probably be a 2022 goal, but you know, life has been very unpredictable. So
Man,
I've been riding the wave, and if something comes, then I'm just like, you know what? All right, because I feel like you know, people get overwhelmed with whether or not they're worthy when opportunities come to them.
mm-hmm.
But for me, I 100% believe that God would not have put that opportunity in front of you if you were not prepared for it, if you didn't have all the skills that you needed to successfully grab whatever that is and make it work for you. And even if you don't got it all figured out, just figure it out along the way, you know what I mean? But don't let the opportunity pass you by. So we'll see, but it's in the plans. It's in the plans. I have a couple of other things that I'm working on too, but you know, you don't tell everybody all your business.
Yeah, right.
You know,
You don't
be
let the
legit
yeah,
praying on your downfall.
right.
And yeah, you don't say too much until it's actually, you know,
You can't
fully fleshed out. But yeah.
you can't let the left hand know what the right hand doing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
All right, so now it's time for some fun.
Uh-huh.
This is the part of the show that I love. This is Freestyle Friday. So
Oh,
everybody put in the comments, I want y'all to put Freestyle Friday in the comments. Put some fire emojis.
freestyle.
Yeah, listen. So I'm about to put on a beat, and whatever bars come out, come out. I just need you to freestyle. Let the people know you got the heat.
I don't have the heat at all, y'all. Ooh.
I'm gonna play geeked up, and I just need to hear your best bars. That's it.
I ain't got it. This is not my area of expertise. Ooh,
No.
wow.
All right. So a plot twist. It's much easier than that. So you don't have to rap. You don't have to rap it off. But Freestyle Friday is where I'm going to ask you a series of questions. They're going to be this or that. They're going to be open ended. It's all about you, so you can't really mess it up. And
All right.
I got two rules. You answer honestly, and you answer every question. That's it.
No problem. That ain't no problem. That ain't no problem.
All right, let's get into it. And then also, y'all listening, feel free to participate too. We want to see y'all answers too. So, first question, I'm gonna hit you off with a tough one off the bat. Would you rather buy your dream home or gift somebody their dream home?
Gift, 100%.
That's what's up. Shout out to that. That is a blessing. Because I don't know if I would be that courteous.
We're blessed to be a blessing to others.
There you go. That's what I needed to hear today that I didn't know I needed to hear.
See, there you go.
All right. Favorite place to travel?
Ooh, I love traveling so much. I can I give two? Thailand and Greece. Thailand and Greece were incredible. Actually, you know what? Thailand takes the cake because there's still more in Thailand that I didn't get to explore that I'll go back to. Usually my rule is like I don't backtrack to places until I've checked off other boxes. Okay. But Thailand is a place that I'll spend the money to go to time and time again.
Dope. Okay. Now, which one? You can only use one of these platforms for the rest of your life. YouTube or Instagram?
I can make more money on YouTube.
Say less. Say less.
Yeah.
All right. So, because I know you're pretty fashionable, would you rather, if you could only wear one color for the rest of your life, what color would it be? From head to toe, one color.
You know, if you asked me this 5 years ago, I would have said white. Mm-hmm. But now I'm gonna have to go with black.
I love it. See, I knew I liked you. Because if you were walking around wearing all white, we can't have you out here looking like Lisa Ray.
I mean, I love Lisa Ray.
I do too. Lisa, she be turned.
Yeah, she does.
She be turned. Also, this is a bonus. This is a bonus one. I'm throwing this in here because I just thought about it. Because then you used to do the fashion shows in Michigan, right? Mm-hmm. Did you do multiple?
Yes.
What's the best fashion show from University of Michigan? I wanna spark up some old beef.
You said I gotta answer all of them.
Yep.
I mean, inspired.
Okay. Inspired.
I like the people who are running it. They seem to have a handle on the they just seem like they had it a little more together.
Got you. Say no more. I'm not going to incriminate you no more. All right. What reality TV show best describes you?
I don't watch reality TV.
What?
I don't. I just feel like I could be spending my time making money than watching everybody make fools of themselves. But if I had to pick, what series have I watched? I mean, I've kind of kept up with Real Housewives of Atlanta. I guess I would pick them because a lot of them are entrepreneurs. They're about their money. They're about their business. The ones who are actually married do care about their families and their husbands, and they try to, have a good work-life balance. So I guess if I had to choose, it would be them. But I don't watch TV like that.
Okay, all right, getting to the money. I respect it. What's your favorite song, album, or artist?
Like right now or of all time?
Let's go all time. I'm making it tough.
I'm gonna sound like an old lady for this, but I love Frank Sinatra. I love Frank Sinatra so much. I have Sinatra Sundays. So like I'll turn on Spotify and I'll just turn on Frank Sinatra and I will sit there with a glass of wine and a book, or sometimes just wine, and I just sit there in my solace and just vibe out like Frank Sinatra. And he was dope as a person. Like he was very big on equality. He stood up for Black artists. He like let me show you. So like I'm really legit about this Frank Sinatra life. Like
I love it.
Sorry, my living room looks crazy right now because I'm like setting up for Christmas. But I have a Frank Sinatra like coffee book.
Oh, this legit.
Oh yeah, like for real. I don't just talk about it. I'm actually about it.
You about that. She about that life.
I'm really about it. So yeah, no, Frank Sinatra is a vibe. And yeah, if I could listen to him all the time. And his Christmas albums are bangers too. His voice is just butter. But yeah, okay.
Okay. I'm not gonna share mine because you know you classy and we gonna keep it classy for
no, I mean I'm super rapid too. Like my Spotify year recapped, like my number one song was "You Tried It" by the City Girls.
Let it be known.
One of my favorite pastimes is driving through very, very wealthy neighborhoods, blasting very, very ratchet music.
Oh yeah.
Because I drive a luxury car too, so it's just the dynamic is it feeds my spirit. It really does. I feel like I do it for the culture. I do.
Just in West Bloomfield playing a whole lot of choppers.
100%, 100%. But like, sometimes I'll just open up the sunroof so that like the music will just funnel. Oh, we should see how quickly people fling their heads while they're walking their dogs.
Oh my God. Great. That was me going up when I had my you bring it back old memories now. When I had my G6 with the sunroof, I used to pull up to work every day playing something ratchet. So yeah, I love it. I love it. I love the duality. It's beautiful.
100%.
Most random job that you ever had?
Oh, I've had a lot of jobs. I worked at a pizza place. I cleaned Airbnbs for a short period of time. I was a nanny. I have done Instacart. Look, whatever I gotta do that's not compromising my morals, my body, my integrity, I'm gonna do it to make the coins. Like if I gotta pay some bills,
they getting paid.
I'm gonna be out there making money to pay bills. Like ain't no shame.
Hustling. I love it. I love it. What's the worst advice you ever got in life? What's some stupid advice that somebody has given you?
Dang. I can't think of anything else. This is the very first thing that popped to my head. But I feel so bad saying this. I got engaged to a person that I was not supposed to get engaged to. Like somebody told me that I should. Very, very bad idea. So that was the worst. The worst.
That definitely qualifies up there with the worst for sure.
I woke up one day, I was like, you know what? I don't think I want this. There you go.
My bad, fam.
Yeah, my bad, chief. Good luck, though. Good luck in life.
Right. Good luck, love. Enjoy.
Yep.
Oh, we out of pocket. All right.
Woo! All right, I'm back.
What's your spirit animal?
Ooh, like a person, right? A person
that's
my spirit animal, or actual animal.
So I want to know person, and then I want to know actual animal.
Okay. So, my person spirit animal is a mix between Young Miami.
Carisha.
People be talking about her, but I can understand every single thing she says.
Love everything. Listen, I lived in Miami for 2 years. I'm fluent. I know everything she be talking about now.
Yeah. So it's a mix between her and Michelle Obama.
Oh, somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. Balance.
Okay.
it's a spectrum, okay?
Absolutely.
And then my actual spirit animal, um, hmm, I would say some kind of bird, because like some sort of extravagant bird that's just that deal, right?
Hmm.
But the ones that can actually fly, because I love to travel. So if I was a bird, I would just go everywhere, because you don't need no gas money, you don't need plane tickets, none of that. You just, okay, I'm ready, I up and I leave. So if I could choose any animal, I know you that wasn't quite the question, but
Hmm.
I'll be a bird.
I'll take that. I have thought about that a lot, like just in terms of flying or being a bird. Wouldn't
Somebody
you be
said period. Okay.
if you flying or if you a bird? Wouldn't that mean you would be like extra dirty by the time you got anywhere you was going?
You never seen bird baths? It's, first of all, the whole world is what, like 75% water. I'ma just find the nearest water,
I got you.
get a little splash splash, and I'm good. What do
I
you
got you.
mean?
I got you. I got you. See, you smart. I like that. All right. So, last one. This is very important. So I'm gonna need you to think deeply about this.
All
You
right,
pull up to the Coney Island. What's your order?
man. Look, let me get that corned beef sandwich on rye.
From the Coney?
Yeah,
Not the corned beef spot.
no.
From
It's
the
I shout out to the corned beef spot. I'm not disrespecting it, but like for whatever reason, so if for me, well, okay, no. If I'm drunk,
Mhm.
100% wingding dinner,
There we go.
100%.
There we go. Now we talking. Now we
But
talking.
if I'm just like, you know what, I haven't had coney in a long time, I think I'm gonna go get me one of them corned beef sandwiches, because I know they're not the best, right?
Hmm.
They're not the best by a long shot. But when I was a kid, I lived walking distance from an L. George's,
Hmm.
and my mom used to always ask for us to bring her back a corned beef sandwich. And of course, we just was getting the conies, like that's all we wanted. But she would give me like bites of her sandwich, because I was just curious of what it tasted like. So for me,
Hmm.
it's a nostalgic thing,
Hmm.
um, filled with nostalgia. But if I'm drunk, 100% winging dinner with that bread on the side. Oh
Yeah. Texas toast.
man,
Can't lose.
can't
Can't
lose.
lose.
And the
All
way that
right.
they fry it, be having that circle in the center.
You
And
already
like,
know.
man, stop it.
You
For
already
those of
know.
you who may not be from Michigan, and don't have no idea what we're talking about, come
Just pull
visit.
up. Pull up.
Just pull up,
Hmm.
pull up.
I
Hmm.
can't.
Don't be alarmed, because majority of them are filled with bulletproof glass, but you'll be
Small,
fine.
small details. It's COVID outside. That
Small
they need it.
details.
They need it anyway.
Hmm.
All right. So you survived Freestyle Friday. So everybody drop a black heart, drop some fire emoji, drop something in the comments. She passed
Ooh,
Freestyle Fridays
ooh.
with
I
flying
really
colors.
thought she was about to have me drop some bars, because I was like,
No, no.
it ain't me, chief.
Now
I got
listen.
a
Now,
lot of talents. That's not one of them.
now one of my last guests, he was ready. He was like, "Hey, look, put on the beat. I'm ready to go." I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you had it like that." So,
Say less. Ew.
right,
Shout out
right.
to you.
All right, so getting back into it from looking at talking about things from the business perspective, picking your brain a little bit more. So,
Mm-hmm.
clearly 2020 has been the longest decade ever, but could you tell us how the pandemic has impacted what you do in the real estate world?
This has been my best year yet. All thanks to God. Glory to God, because I mhm, I still don't really quite know how, but when the stay home order was issued, I pivoted hard. Like, you got to be willing to stop what you're doing and change course very, very quickly, especially as an entrepreneur, because things change fast, and if you don't keep up, you're gonna get left behind.
Yeah.
And as me being a full-time realtor, a full-time entrepreneur, like, if you don't work, you don't eat. Like, I don't make money unless the deal's closed, or I'm dropping YouTube videos, or there's a number of different ways that I make my money, but like, yeah. So for me, the thing that I did was I stopped like trying to promote the fact that I was a realtor. And I was like, I just want to make sure people are good. Like, I want to see
Hmm.
people smile. I want to give people a reason to like wake up in the morning and have something to do when they wake up. So that's how quarantine cooking was birthed. And I started cooking. And at first it was just like pictures of my meal when I was finished. But then people were just like, hey, like, how did you make that? Or can you send me the recipe for that? Or whatever the case may be. And I was like, I don't got recipes, but I can show you how I make it next time. And I just started recording it, and then it became a thing, and people loved it, and people looked forward to it. If I didn't post quarantine cooking, people like, where you at? You all right? Like,
Right.
What's for dinner? But that helped me to, one, build my audience, build up anticipation. So people were looking for me to post something. And then once we were waning off of the stay-at-home order and things were starting to open up again, then that's when I dropped my website. I dropped my buyer consultations, my seller consultations, and I was just like, all right, y'all, everything's opening back up again. If you've been thinking about making a move, now's the time. Let me help you get ready. And that's when people started scheduling their buyer consultations. So by the time everything was completely open back up, I had a list of all these people that had had their consultations that were literally ready to hit the ground running. So I had like 6 closings back to back when things opened back up, because it was just like, all right, y'all, like, we're about to hit the ground running. And making the revenue from the YouTube videos that I've been dropping. And so it took a little while for me to reach 1,000 subscribers, because so you need 1,000 subscribers and at least 4,000 public watch hours to qualify to be monetized on YouTube.
Gotcha.
So I reached the 1,000 subscribers relatively quickly, but I still was waiting to get the 4,000 watch hours. Once I got those 2, started getting monetized, I'm like, all right, let's get this money. But so interestingly enough, COVID has helped me grow my business tremendously, because I wanted to help people. My goal has never been to make money. Of course, like, that's helpful. Everybody wants to make money, but that hasn't been my primary goal. My primary goal was to help people, to empower them, to give them information for free in a fun and entertaining way, and then that translated to dollars.
Love it. Love it. And staying on the topic of entrepreneurship, can you talk to us about why you feel it's important to support other Black businesses or Black professionals?
So we are at a disadvantage on so many levels, but we're also at an advantage for the few things that we do really, really well. And I think it's important to make sure that we're funneling dollars back into our own communities, into our own people. The meme that I'm sure you've seen, like, when you buy from a small business, like, you're helping people buy their groceries, you're helping people put their kids through school. You're not helping a CEO buy their next vacation home. So for me, those things are really important. And I very much enjoy spending money with Black-owned businesses, even when they don't get it right. I'm just like, you know what? All right, we're going to try this again. And we're going to try this again until you get it right. I may not spend as much money as I was the first time, but I'm still getting a little something until you figure it out, right? But yeah, like, even with people choosing me as their realtor, there's only 2% of all the realtors in the U.S., 2% of those are Black. And I feel like increasing the amount of Black realtors, increasing diversity in real estate is what's going to help us to close the gap of homeownership. So the Black homeownership rate is actually decreasing. So the highest it ever was, I think, was in 2007, and that was 49%. But right now it's down to 42%. Even with the increase in fair housing laws and discrimination disputes and all those other things, Black homeownership is still declining. Why? Why is that happening? There's a number of reasons why, but I personally feel like we need more Black realtors so that people feel comfortable with actually making those purchases. People need to be educated about the process. Like, our counterparts, their homeownership rate is at about, I think, 78%, but 42 versus 78%, that is a huge gap, and there's so much that went into the reason why that gap is so big. So there was redlining in neighborhoods, there was
Mm-hmm.
steering, there was racial discrimination. Banks were not allowed to loan to Black people. Like, you would
Mm-hmm.
go and you would try to get a loan, you would be declined. Oh, you're just declined because you don't make enough money. But no, it's because you're Black and we can't loan to you.
Right.
So I actually really want to make a YouTube video on that, just explaining it a little bit more and why I'm so passionate about it. But I will help any and everybody buy a house. It doesn't matter what they look like, it doesn't matter where they come from. But I am very adamant in saying my dream is to see as many Black people be homeowners as possible. 100%. So if that means that I'm passing out information for free, if I'm spending a majority of my time literally just walking people through the process because they don't understand it, then that's fine with me. Because I feel like if I can get a person to understand how it works, then they can go tell their friend, and they can go tell their cousin, and then they can go tell their neighbor. And the
Mm-hmm.
spread of information is what's going to help people to make the shift. So it's a shift that happens mentally first, and then it's a shift that happens physically. And then you feel that effects in your pockets, and it's just a cyclical thing that eventually builds up our communities.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And that's literally what it's all about. And my eyes really wasn't open to that until I started taking shout out to the DAS department at University of Michigan. Until I started taking those classes, I really didn't understand like redlining and like how we were kept out of certain neighborhoods and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So yeah, that all the more importance why myself, I definitely want to own some type of property, especially a home. And then
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate people like you doing what you do for that reason. Because a lot of people will hop in and be like, "Oh, real estate, some quick money. I love making money, whatever. I can sell a house to a homeless man or whatever you want to say." But to have purpose behind it is always important. So definitely appreciate that. And I wanted to, because I always want people to get both perspectives of what it's like to do business for yourself or just to be good at what it is that you do. Could you kind of share with us what, from two perspective, what has been your best business experience, and then also on the other side, what has been your worst business experience so far?
um, it's hard for me to pick the worst because I don't dwell on things. It's just
Hmm.
like, all right, that was trash. And I just move on to the next one. So
Yeah.
I try to make sure that, whatever happened, I don't make a repeat of it, or I don't let it happen to me again, whoever was the person or the thing or the event that caused a transgression upon me.
Yeah.
But the best one, I think, would be, so I have two friends that I worked with them. They ended up getting married, and then they came to me about buying their house. So I was talking to them in the beginning, and they were just like, you know what, we're not really sure we're ready, but we still want to like have a consultation just so we can get an idea. And by the end of our consultation, I was like, no, y'all are ready right now. Like, when is your lease up? And it was up in like, I think 4 months or something for them. I was like, okay, don't resign your lease. Like, we're gonna find you a house. And then when we first started looking for their house, something had came up, like a family situation, and they had to go out of state. But we were on a time crunch, so I was still looking for their houses. I was just doing it virtually, and I would send them videos of the ones that I thought like fit what they were looking for. And then when I came across their house, like I walked through, and the second I walked in the door, I was like, oh my God, like I found their house. Like, this is their house. I know it is. So I called, like, so I finished, walked outside. I was like, hey, like I found you guys' house. Are you available to like do a video chat real quick? And they're just like, yeah. So, hopped on video. I'm walking through the house. I'm showing them it. And they're just like, yeah, we love it. Like, let's submit an offer. So they submitted an offer on their house, sight unseen. They were in a whole nother state, but they trusted me enough to know them well enough to
Hmm.
pick their house for them. So the first time that they saw it was actually during their inspection period. Like, they had already put down this money, like for their earnest money deposit. That's something that I didn't explain, but in my YouTube video, you'll understand what that is.
Hmm.
And they still loved it when they saw it in person. So for me, best business experience is going above and beyond for my clients. So I'm doing things for them that I would do regardless of whether or not I was making money, but I'm making their life easier in some way, shape, or form. So every time I get to do that for a person, that's the best experience for me.
Love it. Phenomenal. Last question for you is what advice would you have for black businesses or black professionals who either want to do what you're doing or want to, jump out and try entrepreneurship or do their own thing? What advice would you have for them?
So, figuring out what your why is an incredibly important thing. It's something that they teach you in real estate. Like I have a book that I've read multiple times. I'm going to read again. It's called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. And they ask you to define your why and figure out what that is so that when times get hard or when you're just trying to like figure out like, why am I doing this? I don't want to be a part of this anymore, blah, 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 blah. You can revert back to your why. And that's the thing that keeps you grounded and keeps you pushing forward. So number one, I would say figure out your why. Number two is find your target audience and like stick with it. People want to attract as many people as they possibly can, but like if you find your lane and stick to it, then you're going to be successful in that, and then you can branch off once you figure this out. But like people just try to be all over the place at first, and you're going to fail if you're a jack of all trades or a master of none. Mm-hmm. So find your lane and rock it, and then add on to it, and then finally, branding is very, very important. Something that Black-owned businesses don't really have a full grasp on, from what I've personally seen so far, is branding. Like people's logos are just glitter and cartoons, and like they try to do all this philosophical stuff behind it, and like, oh, I want like the earth being held by a book, and like you don't have to do any of that. So please watch some YouTube videos on branding, or get some books from the library or something. Get a library card. It's cool to read. Okay, I got a library card. I read books on my phone through the app. It's called Libby. You can check out books for free as long as you have a library card. But read in all of your free time. You can read, you can listen to podcasts, you can watch YouTube videos. Like there's so much free information out here. You just have to go get it. So I think anybody can be successful, but you just have to be willing to look up the information until you can actually pay to get the information. I'm ready to outsource a majority of the stuff that I do at this point, because I built it to a point where I can. But my YouTube videos, I edit every single one of those. Like I've learned along the way. I use the top tier software, but it took forever to learn all of those things, but it's because I wanted to be A1 straight out the gate. And if you can't be that and you've started off on the wrong foot, or you want to rebrand or whatever the case may be, all right, start all over. Like it's okay if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again.
There you go. Listen, hey, she in here giving us a lot of free game. Drop some gems in the chat for her.
Free game, y'all. I'm trying to tell you.
It's free game. She's giving a lot of free game, and everything you talked about, I agree with. I had talked about it last week when my guest Caleb came on here, and he was saying a lot of the same things, like just being able to know what your why is, and you don't have to go over and above when you're trying to brand yourself or get your foot in the door. Like keep it simple, and then focus on your why, and then focus on your product or whatever it is that you're trying to do, and grind up from there. So definitely, it's great to hear you sharing those thoughts and speaking those things as well. So before I let you go, two things. First, if you have any questions for LeAnn, speak now or forever hold your peace. Drop them in the chat. Ask them in the question section.
Drop them right here, y'all.
Drop them down in the comments. And then while they're doing that, tell us what's next for you. What do you have planned in the future? Or what should we expect next from you?
So I have a number of things that I'm working on. People ask me all of the time, can they be my mentor? Can they be my mentee? And I do not have the time, nor the bandwidth, or the mental capacity to do so right now. So I'm working on some sort of mentorship, some sort of virtual thing that can happen for those people who are seeking that out. Number two, I'm looking to do a few things with first year agents. So those who are either looking to get a real estate license or are newly licensed or are 1 year in the business. A couple of things I'm working on to really encourage and help those people. And yeah, the other things, I keep looking over to the right because my vision board is over here.
Mm-hmm.
And I smile when I look at it because I just added a few things on there recently and they just get me so excited when I think about them. So I'm not going to share those quite yet. Those are roaming around in my spirit right now. But when they come, you guys will know.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So we had one question. Would you like to be on HGTV?
I would not mind. And I will leave that where it's at.
Oh, so you on HGTV?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Let me find out. Let me turn on the TV and see you on there.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am not on HGTV right now.
I like your word, and I'm picking up what you're putting down. Let's see. It was another question that had asked.
Let me see if
I
I can find it. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it was way back at the top, but I think it was something along the lines of when you decided to start doing your to go get your real estate license. Like, was that was that the intermediate plan, or was that always long term?
I try not to think too far ahead because I can get easily overwhelmed because I have a million things running through my mind at one time. Like I can get very, very scatterbrained. And if I'm thinking too far ahead, then I get overwhelmed with how to get there and
Mm-hmm.
I don't do anything in the now. So the plan was to just start a new career and see where it goes and try to be the best at it during that time. Everything that it's grown to be up to this point feels ordained. I feel like God knew exactly where I was supposed to be and what I was supposed to be doing. And I'm grateful that I was obedient to the word that was deposited within me at that point in time, because now where I'm at, it just feels like this. I have so much peace about where I am right now because it feels like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Like I don't have to fake it till I make it. I don't have to wake up and hate what I'm doing and try to figure out what my next move is going to be or anything like that. Everything feels like a natural progression. And I'm so grateful to be at that point in my life because there were times where I really did hate some of the jobs that I had. And I really was like just ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
But where I'm at now, it feels right. It feels like God is very, very pleased with what I've been doing. So I feel like I'm receiving the blessings as a result of that
Mm-hmm.
obedience.
And that's what we love to see. So definitely shout out to that.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked, do you recommend quitting your full-time job right out the gate when starting real estate?
Y'all seen that meme of somebody's granddaddy and he was singing and he was like, hell to the no. No, no, no. Please don't. That's very, very foolish. That's so, oh my gosh. I hate when I hear like these wannabe like coaches or whatever, the people that give these inspirational speeches, they be like, just quit, just do it. If you want to succeed, you go do it. It's just like, let's not be foolish. Okay. So I would say save up at least 6 months of your expenses plus like the flex reserves, because real estate is very, very expensive when you first get into it and you find yourself burning through money very quickly because you don't get paid until the deal closes. And again, from the point of getting a house under contract to actually closing and getting the keys is 30 to 45 days. So if you got paid and you don't have another deal in the works, then what you gonna do in that gap? So it's always a constant, like you have to be looking for the next deal. I had a closing on Monday. I was supposed to have one today, but they needed an extension. So it's going to be next Friday. But I have another 3 deals that are in the pipeline. So you just got to keep them going.
Hmm. Absolutely. And can you let the people know where they can find you? Give us your website, give us your social media handles, and then also how can we support?
So you can find me right here on Instagram at LeAnn_Henri. I have a Twitter, but I don't really tweet like that. Maybe one day I'll get back on it, but who knows? But that's at LeAnn Henri. On YouTube, you can find me at LeAnn Henri. Henry is spelled Henri, not Y. And my website, www.leannhenri.com. So oftentimes, my DMs get filled up very, very quickly because people find me on YouTube and they want to reach out to me and ask me questions that pertain to them specifically in real estate. And I don't have the time to always sit down and respond thoughtfully to all of those messages, even though I really, really want to. So like I'm usually delayed by like 1 week in responding to those kinds of messages. I see them as soon as they come, but I can't sit down and respond to everything because it usually is going to take me like 10 to 15 minutes at minimum. So for those who really, really want to sit and talk to me and get all of their questions answered that are specific to them and their situation, on my website, I have consultations that you can book. So you go onto my website, you click the little 3 lines, you go to the contact page, and then you see my calendar. On my calendar, there are buyer consultations, seller consultations. Those are free. But I have pick your brain consultations. So you can have 1 hour with me to pick my brain and ask me literally anything regarding real estate, YouTube, Instagram, my personal life, whatever the case may be as it relates to you in your life. But those do have a cost to them. Those are $100 for the hour. But everyone who has taken them is just like, they feel like it's a steal because that price is going to go up. Oh, it's going to go up. But
Price got to go up.
Yeah, I don't want to be super cost prohibitive for people that really, really need it. So I do right now. I've set 2 days aside, so you can either book them on Thursdays or you can on Tuesdays or Thursdays. But I think I'm going to take off the Thursdays because it's getting a little overwhelming. So it will only be Tuesdays where you can schedule pick your brain consultations. But yeah, it's very, very valuable information that I drop.
Dope, dope. This has been amazing. So I appreciate you to pulling up to Black Fridays and giving us all these gems and just having great conversation and telling us more about you and why you do what you do and how you do it also. And I knew this was gonna be dope. Like I said, I follow your stuff from the outside looking in, and your brand and stuff and all the content you do is inspiring to me, and it make me be like, damn, Denzell, you gotta step your game up, man. You gotta do a little bit more with what you
See,
got going on.
I never want people to feel like they're comparing themselves to me, but I 100% want people to feel like they gotta step their game up.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I want everybody to win. I really, really want everybody to win. It doesn't matter where they're from, what they're doing, what their background is. I literally want to see everybody win. Like me and my friends have a bet on who's gonna reach 1 million first, and I already know it's gonna be me. But like I can't wait to argue over who's paying for the next vacation or like who has the bill for dinner, and we're fighting over who gets it. Like that whole I want to split the bill, that's ghetto. But do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do. Like go out to eat, have your fun. But I can't wait to just snatch it and be like, here you go, waiter. Like so those things for me are really fun and exciting, and I just want everybody around me. I want my whole circle winning. And my whole circle includes all of y'all. So all nearly 6,000 of you on Instagram, y'all are my circle, and I want to see all of y'all winning.
Absolutely. I love that. And like I said, this is inspiring too, because you never know what you can add to your repertoire from, watching other people. I'm sure it's a ton of people that watch your YouTube and it's like, oh, I can try that out, or look at your IG and like, maybe I should, give those things a try or do my stories this way. So it's definitely dope what you're doing. And, keep being the inspiration, keep doing what you're doing, keep hustling, keep making all that money, keep being the superstar that you are. I can't wait to see you on HGTV. Just let me know when the date drop, what show.
Jeez.
Pass me the link.
I'm trying to see if there's anybody else who has said anything. Secretly paying for the bill on the way to the restroom. I've done that a few times actually though, so that is really fun. Hold on, wait. My bad, y'all. I'm just trying to see what y'all are saying because I haven't been able to see it. Like,
They're bigging you up.
I'm gonna get to the mail first. Okay, yeah. Let me go to your website, send you a DM, blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. All right. Good stuff. Yay. This is great. This is great.
I love it. I love it. This has been amazing. So yeah, definitely appreciate you pulling up to Black Fridays, and look forward to seeing the new stuff that you got coming out, and then seeing your 2021 vision as well, and seeing all the good stuff you got going on there.
Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm just grateful to be alive and healthy.
Yes. Amen. Amen to that. So this has been another episode of Black Fridays, y'all. Appreciate y'all pulling up. Thankful for my guests. Make sure y'all go to that YouTube. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment on all her stuff. Go to her page, share her page, like her pictures, all that good stuff. Go support. Go support for sure. If you're serious about the home buying experience, definitely look her up and then check out her content. And then if you really serious, go book that consultation. So definitely appreciate you once again. Appreciate all of y'all. It's been another Black Fridays, and I'll see y'all later.
Bye, y'all.
All right. See, thank you.
Bye.
Niggas skip the ball 'cause we mad at y'all. Snatch it from 89, that we pack the drawers, and we clap the doors when you act